Prior to starting an exercise program, make sure it is safe for you to exercise. Read all warning labels and consult with a medical doctor. The Body Weight Trainer utilizes rubber strength bands of varying widths attached to the trainer at different locations in order to offload your body weight and allow for proper functional motion to take place. The width of the band, as you can see, determines the level of assistance it provides. The number of repetitions you perform depends on the overload phase of exercise you're in. Use the band that allows you to do the appropriate number of repetitions. You will start your exercise routine in a connective tissue adaptation phase. In this phase, you should complete 15 to 20 repetitions per exercise. Use the band to assist motion that allows for the desired number of repetitions, no more, no less. Do this circuit 3 times weekly with at least 1 day off between sessions. In each grouping, do the first exercise, then the second, and then repeat the sequence for a total of 2 sets. So let's get started. Functional flexibility is not the same thing as static flexibility. Static stretching takes place in isolation. Functional flexibility is a coordinated effort in which you need to have enough flexibility in one limb to allow proper motion in the other. Functional flexibility is attained by moving the body in patterns that dynamically lengthen the appropriate tissue to allow for normal functional motion to take place. With the Body Weight Trainer, when you initially start your functional flexibility work, you'll rotate the bars out to the side and you'll begin a sequence of 4 exercises used to improve your functional flexibility. The first one, as you could see, was the knee tuck. You just saw demonstrated the butt kick, and now you're seeing a straight leg stretch. Hold each of these stretches for a few seconds and hold the bar for balance if needed. The last of the functional flexibility warm-up exercises is for the groin. Stand, holding the bar for balance, and shift your weight to the right and left to stretch the inner thigh. After functionally warming up, begin your circuit by continuously exercising for 5 minutes as to increase your heart rate to within your target zone. This can be done by jogging, fast walking, or running on a trampoline as shown. Always wear a heart rate monitor as to easily evaluate the intensity of your exercise. Let's begin your first group of exercises. In the initial group of exercises for this circuit, you will do the single leg skater squat and the assisted push-up. To do the single leg skater squat, you'll step on the step, place the band around your ribs as high as possible, then standing on the side steps, place the band on the long band holders, step back. If you're exercising the left leg, you'll step to the right to help with stance on the stance phase leg. Once you've attained that position, arms forward, your knee will then bend forward to the toe and you will drop your hip straight down towards the edge of the step. You'll complete this exercise for 15 repetitions in this connective tissue adaptation phase. Once you're finished with 15 repetitions, we will switch and go to the other leg. Use the width of band that allows you to do the desired number of repetitions depending on which phase of exercise you are in. Note that John's knee is tracking over his foot and not collapsing inward. That's due to the lateral pull of the band. After 15 repetitions, he steps to the other side to give the same assistance, and we'll duplicate the same exercise. The single leg squat is the most important exercise to do to functionally strengthen your lower extremity, as it works your quadriceps, hamstrings, gluteals, and core stabilizers against gravitational forces, therefore improving your function. If John, again, is capable of doing more than 15 to 20 repetitions in this phase, we would use a band that provided less assistance or was not as wide as the band he's currently using. After performing the exercise on both legs, he'll step out of the band and transition immediately into the assisted push-up exercise. John's wearing a heart rate monitor, which he is using to monitor the intensity of his exercise. He's progressing through these transitions quickly to maintain his heart rate in the desired zone. The push-up exercise is done with the feet elevated as to shift the weight completely to the arms. It is done with a nice stable core, bending his elbows, touching his chest to the floor. He will again do 15 to 20 repetitions of this exercise. This exercise works his chest and triceps. Of note is his shoulder blades are free to move, which is very important to protect the shoulder blade and the shoulder girdle as far as preventing shoulder injury. This exercise will be done again 15 to 20 repetitions. If John's capable of doing more, then we would obviously decrease to no assistance at that point. After continually exercising for 5 minutes, either by fast walking, jogging, or jogging on the trampoline, you will begin the second group of exercises in this circuit. The second group of exercises in this circuit are the pull-up and the hip extension. The pull-up exercise is done by placing the long band holders in front of the frame, lowering the bar to the appropriate height, grabbing the bar, standing on the band, and pulling up. The pull-up exercise works the lats, the core stabilizers, the scapular stabilizers, and is an important exercise for the shoulder to help prevent impingement of the upper rotator cuff tendons. Carrie will perform 15 to 20 pull-ups. If Carrie can do more than 15 to 20 pull-ups, then we would give her a band that provided less assistance. Great form. After the pull-up exercise, she'll step off the band, step into the machine, and transition quickly to the hip extension exercise. This exercise specifically works the gluteus maximus functionally, which is very hard to do in isolation with open chain machines. In this exercise, she's working her gluteus on the left leg as she's pulling her center of gravity with the horizon. She'll perform this exercise for 15 to 20 reps on each side. During this exercise, it's important to gain balance and that the opposite arm moves with the leg that's going forward. When she switches and does 15, now the right arm will piston forward with the left leg. Now we've switched and we're working the gluteus maximus on the right side. Notice that the band will provide a force that's trying to pull Carrie backwards in the frame. This right heel is dug in and this gluteus is pulling her body forward. Once she gets to 15, the exercise is complete. In the third group of exercise in this circuit, we will do the hip hiker exercise and the assisted inverted row. The hip hiker exercise works the gluteus medius muscle, which is a critical muscle for functional lower extremity strength. The gluteus medius muscle is worked on the side that you are supporting your body weight, in this case Carrie's right leg. The gluteus medius is assisting to lift the pelvis up on the left side. This muscle is critical to hold your pelvis level during most functional movements. Carrie will perform this exercise 15 to 20 times on each side, using the appropriate amount of resistance to allow for 15 to 20 repetitions. If Carrie was able to do more than 15 to 20 repetitions, then we would use a thicker band to apply more resistance to the movement. Notice how it's more of a shearing motion with the left leg going straight up, lifting the pelvis up, working, in this case, the gluteus medius on the left side. And we will immediately now transition to the assisted inverted row. After placing the band around your ribs, you'll step to the side steps, grab the bar above your head, reach your feet and place them against the back band. Hold your core nice and tight, and you'll pull your chest to the bar. Again, repeating 15 to 20 repetitions in this connective tissue adaptation phase. This exercise primarily works all the muscles that attach to your shoulder blade and help your shoulder blade contribute to the overall motion of your shoulder, helping to prevent shoulder pathologies. Notice how she's keeping her body perfectly straight and pulling her chest to the bar every time. We will now begin the fourth group of exercises in this final circuit for instructional video number 1. The group of exercises in this circuit ending will be the tricep dip and the assisted sit-up. To perform the tricep dips, you will place a band across the frame with the small band holders. Standing from the back step, you will stand on the band, either facing forward or backward, it doesn't matter. Hold a stable position. You'll then bend your elbows down to 90 degrees and push back up to the starting position. This exercise works your chest and triceps. You will do 15 to 20 repetitions in this connective tissue adaptation phase. If you can do more than 20 repetitions, you will decrease the amount of assistance required on the band that is strapped across the frame. It's important to note that as we progress through this circuit that you have worn the heart rate monitor. You're progressing the exercises quickly to keep your heart rate up in its target zone. In between each of these groupings, you're transitioning to either a fast walk or a jog or the use of the trampoline to keep your heart rate up in that training zone and allow for a duration of exercise approaching about 30 minutes as you begin your exercise routine. After 15, he'll step to the back band, undo the red band from just a holding position, step around the frame. He'll now hold the red band as he lies down. I have a mat here because it's a hard surface. If you had a carpeting, it wouldn't matter. From this position, you'll use the band to assist the sit-up position. Of note, to do a sit-up properly, you do not want to have your feet fixed underneath anything. That allows for the assistance of muscles that we do not want to use to perform the trunk flexion. And we also want to make sure that we exhale when we're doing a sit-up in order to change the pressures in the abdomen to allow for proper contraction of the abdominal muscles and the squeezing of the ribs towards the pelvis. Once you've completed 15 to 20 repetitions of this exercise, just like the other groupings, you would go back, do 15 to 20 of the tricep dips, come back, do 15 to 20 of the sit-ups. Once you're done, that would conclude this grouping of exercises, and it would also conclude instructional video 1. In review for instructional video 1, we've gone through 4 groupings of exercises. In each grouping of exercise, you were instructed to do the exercises for 2 sets. You will cycle through the first exercise, then the second exercise, then back to the first exercise and the second. After you were done with the first grouping, you would do 5 minutes of continuous exercise, either fast walking, jogging, or running on the trampoline as pictured. Once you have gone through each of the grouping of exercises and the 5 minutes of cardiovascular exercise in between the groupings of exercise, you will have sufficiently trained your cardiorespiratory system and begun the process of improving your functional strength. This concludes instructional video 1.